We were just talking to Steve about the situation in Turkey overall. Joining us now to talk about this is because Turkey's considering joining the U.S., I guess, and NATO, because they're a part of NATO, in anti-ISIS activities. So Tarek Fatah joins us, Toronto Sun columnist. Tarek, good to see you again. I know you've got really strong feelings on Turkey. What do you make of this?
They're pulling the fast one on the West. It's the most dangerous thing that exists today. The threat to the West is the Republic of Turkey. And what makes it more dangerous is it sits on NATO's inside council. It's not like Latvia or someone. This is the core NATO supplier of infantry needed anywhere, and is the main ally of ISIS. For any American administration to think that they've got a deal with them, they haven't learned anything in history from the Barbary pirates right up to now.
When you say they're the main ally for ISIS, how?
They created ISIS. They fund ISIS. ISIS jihadists get treated in Turkey. Where do you think all the foreign fighters get to join ISIS? Through Turkey.
Right, by allowing people to go through.
It's not by allowing, by facilitating.
Right. Okay, so then historically, how did Turkey get into NATO?
Because it supplied troops to the Americans in Korea. You had to fight the commies. The West didn't have the manpower. The Turks had about 1 million troops on the southern flank of the Soviet Union.
Okay, so then they enlisted Turkey to...
Turkey was one of the characters in that famous Korean War comic series was the Turk.
Okay, so then if Turkey has been in NATO for a while, have they done anything in the past to help NATO other than...
None whatsoever. They haven't done anything ever. They were an ally of Israel. Israel tolerated some of the most harshest regimes, dictatorships in Turkey. So it's quite rich of Israel now to criticize Turkey when they were allies of Turkey, when Turkey was decimating the Kurds. The Israelis were quiet.
The thing is, though, the Turks are right there. They have boots on the ground. The Americans...
They don't have any boots on the ground.
Well, you just said
their boots on the ground are to kill Kurds.
No, but I'm saying they have a military force in Turkey.
That will never fight the ISIS. They will never fight ISIS. I say it on record. There are just too many gullible, guilt-ridden white liberals governing NATO, Canada, the United States. I'm talking the intelligentsia. These are not things that you teach in Stanford or Berkeley. These are where you get fooled by professors at Stanley and Berkeley.
Okay, then talk about the other player in this, and nobody talks about this enough. Where is Turkey relative to Assad and in Syria?
Turkey's interests in the Arab world is they consider the street urchins that have to be governed. You have to understand, Turkey has colonized the Arab world for 600 years. If today you find the Arab world unable to stand on its feet, the number one culprit in this are the Turks.
Because they stand to gain by geography.
Not only that, 600 years of colonial rule.
The old Ottoman Empire.
Yes. After the downfall of Baghdad in 1258 you see, the problem in West is your history goes back to the Grey...
200 years.
No, just Grey Cup last night.
Yeah, that might be true too.
You can't go beyond that. The rest of the world thinks in terms of 1,000 years. So for me, the fall of Baghdad in 1258 by the Tartars and the Mongols and the devastation of the Arabs have never had sovereignty since the day Baghdad fell. In 1258, they have never had sovereignty over themselves. The Turks took it over.
Until World War II, and then they got sovereignty.
They still don't have sovereignty. Who has sovereignty in the Arab world? No one. When did the women of that part of the world have any rights? When did anyone in the Arab world ever had the chance to say what they said in the year 900, which is they could be homosexual, Abu Nawas, and go to Mecca and defy God? That's the type of Arab sovereignty you had when the Turks were not involved, when the Europeans were not involved. all the atheists, the agnostics, the Sufis who would laugh and joke about the existence of God still survived, lived. The Turks ended it all.
So what you're painting is a very dim picture of the Turks getting involved, but you don't think they will even get involved.
They will never throw a pebble at ISIS. This is their creation. Their point of view is the destruction of the West. There are two Turkeys, by the way. The western part of Turkey are all the Europeans who, during the Balkan Wars, receded inside Turkish Ottoman Empire, 1910, 1912, right from the Greek Revolution, and then the eastern part, which is Anatolia, which is traditional Turk. So many parts of Turkey are today the Romanian, Bulgarian, Hungarian, Greek Muslims.
Eastern European.
Eastern
basically.
Europeans who settled down, who now call themselves Turks. You can see the dividing line over there.
Where is the center of commerce, and does that make a difference?
It doesn't make any difference. The center is the Islamist nature of the present regime, which comes from Saudi Arabia. The previous president lived in Saudi Arabia for about 35 years.
Not Erdogan.
Not him, Mr. Gül, President Gül,
Okay.
was there. If you want to study Turkey, you need to understand how they could colonize, butcher, annihilate the Kurds and get away by a genocide of the Armenians. 1 million people killed, and the West's main ally is Turkey.
Yeah.
This is disgraceful. I mean, Canada at least has been able to stand up and say and recognize that. But as long as Turkey does not recognize the Armenian genocide, Turkey has no business being our ally.
Let's leave it there, Tarek. Thank you so much.
Take care.